When you grow up with a toxic mother, you don't just get hurt, you get shaped. You learn to keep your feelings to yourself. You learn that being honest only makes things worse. And you become the kid who holds it all together. You know, you're polite, you're helpful, you're always forgiving, even when your stomach hurts from all that tension. And then years later, what happens? We still do it. You're calm while you're angry. You're smiling while you're hurt. And you can't figure out why real connection feels so treacherous, like you're walking through glass. Now, if this was you, you probably grew up around emotional chaos that you couldn't control. So you learned to control yourself instead. You tried not to need too much, not to argue, not to cry. And that self-control might look like strength now. You're competent. You handle things. But inside, you feel tense all the time. That's definitely my kind of prototype of how I dealt with the trauma. But you learn through this that closeness could turn mean without warning. So you keep people close, but not too close. You please them, but you never fully trust them. And you probably wonder why you feel lonely even when you're surrounded by people. Now, that's not a character flaw. That's definitely what I thought it was, but it's not. It's a pattern that you can notice and change. A toxic mother doesn't just make you insecure. She confuses your sense of what's normal. And everything is always inverted. She accuses you of some wrongdoing, but it's really her who did that. When I was a teenager, my grandparents came to visit, very proper people. And I think it was Easter or something. And we were eating around the table. And my mother said, Anna Marie. And that was actually, that is my whole first name, but I don't use it anymore. I just go by Anna. But she was like, Anna Marie, do you remember? She said it like it was just like a little thing. Do you remember when you took all those sedatives and you walked into the picnic naked? And everyone looked at me. And what did I do? I told the truth. I said, you did that, Mom. Up at Madera Canyon, when my friend Pam was with us. Honestly, she took something. I don't know what, but we had to go home right then when she did that. We bundled her up in blankets. We had to hold her to the front seat of the VW bus because she was just wobbling around. I don't think we had seat belts or they didn't work or something. So we were like holding her by the shoulders so she wouldn't fall over while my stepdad drove us the 2 hours home. And it ruined the day, of course. It was so humiliating. But she told my grandparents that I did it. And this kind of experience with a toxic mother left me with a lot of residue, like defensiveness, shame like I did it, but defensiveness, like nobody ever believes me. That's, I sort of walked into situations convinced that that's what I would always be met with. I was angry. I had a tendency to collapse inside when I thought people didn't believe me. Just, never mind, I give up. Have you gone through this too? Let's go through what this looks like in real life, the patterns that you might still be carrying, and what each one is trying to tell you. Now, these aren't labels. They're clues for where you can start to do something different. All right, number one, you don't trust your perceptions. You notice something's off, but immediately you second guess it. That doubt is left over from being told that you are too sensitive. So what you can do is start practicing belief in yourself, just one little observation at a time, and write it down. Keep the record straight. Keep that somewhere to the side. What do you actually know to be true about you? Now, number two is you feel responsible for everyone's emotions. So when someone's upset, you rush in to fix it. You calm them. You cheer them up. You explain. It feels like you're being kind, right? But it's anxiety in disguise. That's what it is. It's an anxious behavior. You're scared of what's going to happen if these feelings that this other person is having get out. But remember, that's not really your problem. Practice holding back. Let people have their own feelings. You'll see that no matter what other people are going through, you have a right to peace. Number three is you feel guilty for setting boundaries. They sometimes help you with that, right? They try to make you feel guilty. But even a simple, just saying no can just make you so uncomfortable. You worry people will think that you're mean or ungrateful, and then you try to explain why you deserve to have this boundary. But that discomfort, it's not proof that you're wrong, It's not proof that you need to fix something. The discomfort is actually it's the feeling of something unfamiliar. Boundaries are what grown-up self-respect looks like. The guilt fades away when you can stay consistent with some boundaries. Number 4 is you chase your mother for approval, or you chase people who remind you of her. Now, you work hard to impress people, right? Hoping for that flicker of warmth, or that, wow, you really are amazing, Anna Marie, right? I never got that. You don't need anyone's permission to feel legitimate. You can start giving yourself just quiet acknowledgement when you do well, and it'll start to change that old urge to chase approval. Number 5 is you confuse chaos with love. And if you grew up with drama all around, calm can end up feeling really empty, like, nothing's going on here. I have to find something. Now, you may stir things up, trouble, just to feel alive. So notice when that happens. Being calm is not being empty. It's what emotional safety looks like before you're used to it. And if you tend to get tripped up and there's a lot of chaos in your life right now, it helps to know this is a classic sign of early trauma. This set of symptoms is what makes up complex PTSD. That's the kind that comes from chronic, ongoing stress, particularly during childhood. And if you want to see what these signs are and see if some of these symptoms might be happening in your life, I have a quiz for you. And I'll put it in the top line of the description section below this video so that you can download your own copy of it. Number 6 is you overfunction in relationships. You plan, you fix, you smooth things over. You take on more than your share. Then you feel resentful because the other person is not doing their share, but you can't stop doing more than your share. So what do? You let someone else handle a piece of it. Even if they're clumsy, even if they forget, this is how balance begins in relationships. Number 7, you minimize abuse or disrespect. Do you have that sign? I've really suffered with that one in my life. So you tell yourself, this is such a sign of having a toxic mom. You tell yourself, it's not that bad, because that's what you learn to do to survive. So start calling things what they are. You don't need to make a scene. Just stop lying to yourself about what hurts. Number 8, sign of having a toxic mom is you feel unsafe when things are peaceful. When life finally quiets down, you wait for something terrible to happen. Your nervous system doesn't trust calm yet. And when you notice that edge, you don't have to go fix something. We talked about how you feel empty, but this is like this feeling of anxiety, like something's going to happen. You can just hang out there. You can breathe through it. You can use your tools, like the daily practice, right? That's how you learn a new setting for normal, that just because you feel anxious doesn't mean you have to rush into a behavior. You can just deal with the anxious feeling as a feeling. Number 9 is you bond by taking care of people. You offer help, advice, support. You save them constantly. You mistake being needed for being connected. So when you're around somebody who's kind of troubled, just try this. Try listening without solving anything. And people actually really appreciate that. That's really what they're looking for, is to be heard. They're not looking for solutions. If they are, they'll tell you. And even then, maybe you don't want to do it. But if being quiet as you listen is making you squirm in your seat, that's your signal that you're doing something new for you. Listening, just hanging out, not fixing. Number 10 is you shut down when someone loves you back. When someone's warm with you, you might freeze or change the subject. You've learned that affection often flips into criticism, so your body kind of braces for it. Like, oh gosh, here comes love. Feels like a fire hose. It feels like a super bright light in your face. You're like, love. And this time, try this. When someone's being loving towards you, it could be a relative, a romantic partner, just being very kind and affectionate towards you. Just hang out with it. Just let it feel weird. Don't run from it. See what happens. 11 is you carry deep, deep shame. So you assume that you're doing something wrong even when you're not. That low-level guilt running through everything, it's not reality, it's repetition. And when you feel it rise, just remind yourself, okay, first of all, I'm allowed to exist, even when someone's disappointed in me. And then let that feeling just roll for a while. You watch, sometimes feelings will just pass through you. I'm going to talk to you about the daily practice in a minute. Number 12 is you control everything and you handle details, you handle schedules, outcomes. You think if you manage perfectly, if you're like just a super capable can-do kind of gal, no one can blow up at you. And that's an old strategy. And I, first of all, just want to say it actually doesn't protect you. So try just letting small things slide. Sometimes this is therapeutic for us overfunctioners. Watch how nothing terrible happens. And how much energy comes back to you, how much you're like, hey, I'm not spinning my wheels, when you're just letting everybody else be themselves and not trying to compensate for what you think they lack. Number 13 is you repeat old dynamics even when you see that you're doing that. You promise yourself, I'm going to stop overgiving. I'm going to stay quiet. And then you catch yourself doing it again. That's not failure. That's just, think of it like a muscle memory. Just interrupt it midstream. Don't beat yourself up. You don't have to complete the old loop. You could just halt mid-sentence and go, oh, wait, sorry, hold on. Let it go. Number 14 is you never feel done. You finish something and then you see flaws or you see new goals or what you should have done better. And that endless push is an echo of conditional love. Practice finishing and then walking away. Just say, that's enough for now, and leave it there. All of these patterns come from the same place. It's from a childhood where love and criticism were just tangled up. Maybe the criticism wasn't overt. Maybe the criticism was in the form of getting ignored, rejected, left out. And you adapted by working harder and being quieter and hiding your needs. And those instincts helped you survive then. Now they keep you small, though. That's the problem. Good then, but they stay into adulthood and they limit you. So healing starts when you recognize them in real time and you just stop cooperating with that urge to do it. You can still be kind, you can still be generous, you can be capable, but just without disappearing yourself in the process. Now, something I want to share with you is what it looks like and feels like when you're actually healing. And this is one of my favorite handouts. It's a free download, and I put a link to it in the second line of the description section below this video. Make sure you get your own copy of it because it's like shining a light into what a happy future can look like for you. Now, you can't go back and make your childhood different, but you can take responsibility for what you do with yourself now. And that's where healing actually happens. Not in understanding your mother better, not in trying to make her like you, but in practicing who you want to be right in the middle of your old reactions and course correcting. It starts with awareness and it builds with practice. Now, if you catch yourself over-explaining, just stop mid-sentence. You notice yourself tensing to fix someone else's problem, just let it sit. And if you feel that pull to earn approval and you stay still instead, that's what real change looks like. It's not dramatic, it's steady, and it works. There's a lot of feelings that come up when you start to make these changes. It's uncomfortable, right? And it so helps to have a daily practice. And these are two techniques that saved my life that I use all the time. And it's a way to kind of release all that, like, oh gosh, I feel so guilty. Oh gosh, I set a boundary. Nobody likes me. I'm going to lose everybody. It's a way to deal with that excess of feelings that hold you back, that keep you from seeing clearly what needs to be done. It's a free course. I try to teach it to everybody in the world who maybe needs it. You can take it, you can learn and try these techniques in less than an hour. And I'll put a link to that down below in the description section, but it'll be on like the third line. So you're going to have to click that little more button. If you look at the description section right under the video, you can see the top two lines. And then there's this word more, and you click on that and whoop, all these different links will reveal themselves to you. And it's all kinds of things that I give away or you can buy from me or join. And I'd love for you to find those things. Actually, that would be very nice. Healing from a toxic mother is not about her anymore. Gosh, has everything been about her for so long, long enough. Now it's about you learning how to feel peace, how to be comfortable with it. It's about letting your emotions fit the moment that you're in right now, not the one you grew up in. And you can stop arguing with people who can't hear you anyway. Just relax, walk away instead of chasing fairness. You stop using guilt as proof that, you didn't do anything wrong. If you feel guilty, it's probably not because you did something wrong. It's probably because you're reacting to something in the past. So now you can practice fairness toward yourself, not indulgence, just fairness. Over time, your mom's voice and her opinions stop being what runs your life, and you begin to sound like yourself again, calmer, clearer, more honest. That's what healing really looks like. Less drama, fewer explanations, and more days where you can just be who you are, without permission, without guilt, and without fear. If you like this video, I've got one that you're going to love right here, and I'll see you very soon. Their mom just died, and instead of giving them some empathy, you tell a long story about what happened when your mom died. And I know that's intended as a way to feel connected and show that you do understand, but it's a telltale sign that listening empathically was not something done enough for you.